right, and what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Empyre issue 4.
Stay tuned, webheads. Hey, all my webheads out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0 and fans. I'm your host, Mike Spiderslayer, and this is...
B.
Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to bring you another episode of Father and Son Talk Comics. We're continuing our coverage of Empyre. This is Empyre issue 4, written by Al Ewing and Dan Slott. Now, we didn't get a chance to review last week's issue because we were super busy. However, there was some crazy stuff that happened in the last issue, right? We had Carol Danvers wind up becoming the new accuser. She's got the freaking hammer, and she's bringing down the law with this power, so that's pretty cool. And then we find out about Wakanda. What's so important? Why the Katati about Wakanda? What's going on there?
The Katati are trying to take over the big vibranium mound, so that way they can control the entire galaxy with plans.
Right. So it's not just about the Earth being taken over. It's about the whole flipping galaxy, right? So now in this issue, all of a sudden things just get bad for our good guys in this particular issue, right? First off, though, before we dive into the plot, what did you think about the artwork in this particular issue? Do you still like it?
Yes.
Okay.
Basically exactly the same.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Characters look good. The colors always look great. There's some grotesque things going on in this issue when it comes to She-Hulk, and we'll definitely talk about that. That's something that I did not see coming. So yeah, and I think that's going to play a major part in her future. So we'll talk about that later, but let's talk about the plot first of all. So at the end of the last issue, what happened? What did we wind up seeing with the hiding of the Skrull Queen or whatever it was? What happened there?
A Skrull spy who's pretending to be somebody.
Right, but yeah, and she was like the former accuser, but she is who to Hulkling?
Grandmother.
Right, and at the end of the issue, we wind up seeing that she's like, oh, I'm going to make sure that Teddy's our main ruler and blah, blah, blah. So at the beginning of this issue, all of a sudden, like, Teddy goes and he went to go take a nap or sleep. And the next thing we wind up finding out is that he's totally, like, he's an asshole, right? Right? What does he do in this issue? He's like ordering people around.
As soon as he wakes up, he decides, oh, we're ready to blow up the sun.
Yeah. So the whole plan in this whole thing is that in order to save the galaxy, the Earth must die, but in order for the Earth to die, they must blow up the sun, right? So, but even at worst case scenario, Hulkling would never do that. He would never even begin to, have loss of life, right? And so it was just like, that was the first thing they said. And so right away, Johnny Storm and Carol Danvers are like, this is not you, right? Mm-hmm. But then they wound up sending him off to a completely different area. So there was this fight between the Super Skrull and Johnny Storm and Carol, which was pretty cool, and then they wound up getting transported away. So that was that in this particular part of the issue, right? So then as time goes along, we wound up seeing that Tony Stark, Reed Richards, they're having their whole argument. Tony is just like still down on himself based off of everything that happened. So, and we're trying to come up with a plan there. But in this issue, you also wind up seeing Black Panther. He's got the what?
He has Hulkling's sword.
And he feels like he can kind of defend, I guess Wakanda from all the Katati invading. He said he would not be this king if he did not be like the last line of defense. So he's very honorable there, which I thought was actually kind of cool. And then you got Mantis, who's obviously trying to persuade her son not to do this. And Koi's kind of like, no, that's not going to happen. So it's crazy. But then what happens to Jennifer Walters here?
So then we find out that She-Hulk apparently died and has been taken over by the Katati and try to kill all her friends.
Yeah, and she becomes like, she's like legit this plant monster. And it's said in the book that, you know, when we would take over human forms, they would get filled with chlorophyll and their skin would turn green. But when you trusted us, She-Hulk, your most powerful human, was already green, and we basically killed her, and now it's like her body was used as a disguise, and now we have the upper hand on you. So basically, they're the ones that killed She-Hulk, and maybe now this is the reason why she becomes the true immortal form or immortal Hulk, She-Hulk in the future. And you wind up seeing this huge battle between her and the Thing, and she just clocks Thing. I mean, it's just this, like, look at his face right there, right? Like, he's bleeding. Like, who makes the Thing bleed? He's made out of stone, right? So wasn't that a crazy scene right there? Mm-hmm. And then what do you see on here with Jennifer Walters? Like, what is she doing there?
I don't know. She's like throwing up plants.
So she's like showing off her true form. So she throws up all this disgusting, gross, like plant growth life out of her mouth, and she's like, I'm going to stop you, blah blah. And she talks about like the whole series, like of what happened and whatnot. So that was kind of cool. And what did we find out though about the end when it came to Hulkling? Because Wiccan, his husband, he winds up sitting there saying that you know, they did a scan, and what happened?
Yeah, so Captain Marvel scanned Hulkling to get his genes or whatever.
Yeah.
And found out that it said that it was the real Hulkling, but then this guy, Magic Billy guy,
his name's Wiccan.
I don't care. He said that it is not the Hulkling. Not Hulkling.
Yeah, because he knows him better than anybody. Okay, so that was kind of important. He says it's not him. So who do you think Hulkling is? Like, what do you think happened with the Hulkling in this issue?
In the last issue, it said that his grandmother was going to do something to make Hulkling more of a leader and willing to make sacrifices. Mm-hmm. And since she's a Skrull, she can turn into anyone she wants. So she can pretty easily turn into Hulkling and make decisions for him. That's
true. Well, what do you think she did with Hulkling then?
Probably just threw him into space or something.
That's kind of funny. Obviously this takes place off panel. You don't see it. And so maybe not by this issue, but maybe by issue 6, we'll find out what she did. Because I agree. I think she changed into form, and I think she's disguising herself as Hulkling, and she did something with him. I don't know if she like knocked him out, did a fight, threw him into space, like who knows what happened with it, but that makes for a quite interesting story. And then what do you think could possibly happen to the Thing? You think he's going to get beat up? Do you think he's going to get killed?
No.
No? You think he's going to win that fight against her?
No.
What do you think is going to happen?
He's just going to get saved by something.
And, oh, yeah? Okay. And what do you think might happen to Plant She-Hulk? What do you think is going to happen there?
She'll probably also get saved.
Yeah, but she's already dead. They killed her. They said they killed her.
They also killed Captain Marvel.
So. That's true. But here's the thing. You don't read Immortal Hulk. And once a Hulk gets killed, what happens is basically they come back from the dead and they become something worse. Like some crazy, nasty, grotesque Hulk and different personalities and stuff like that. And Al Ewing is the writer of the Immortal Hulk, and he currently writes this book too. So obviously he's got an agenda with this character. So, and I think she's going to make an appearance in the Immortal Hulk book itself. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think she's going to come back to life, and she's going to come back as something else. So that's my thought there. So overall, in this particular issue, what do you rate this particular issue right now?
4.5.
Oh, you like this? You like this one? Last time you did it 4, so you like this one better.
Yes.
What do you like more though about this one?
There was more in it. There's a less just talking about nothing.
So there's actual action and stuff is actually happening. So we're developing the story, right? Okay, that's cool. I think I'm going to give this one a 4.25 out of 5 stars. I liked it better. Also, I feel like there still should be more at play, but I do like some of the elements that's going on in this book, like She-Hulk, like what might happen to the Thing. Will Coy change his mind? What's going on with Hulkling? I just seem like, though, that even though the whole galaxy is at stake, I just feel like we've seen this plot before, right? So I feel like hopefully by the time this is all done and over with, that it affects the Marvel universe and just maybe it's just some random Avengers and Fantastic Four story. Like, I don't want it just to end and then nothing gets affected, you know? So, a couple things though. Captain Marvel gets a new status quo. Immortal She-Hulk is being possibly born. So we'll see what happens going forward with it. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you guys continue to like our series. And we'll do more in the future. And guys, until next time, this is Mike Spiderslayer signing off. And this is
B.
And thanks for watching, guys. Give a big wave, Braden. Woo! We'll see you later. Take care, guys.